We rejoin our performing PIs as they pause their pursuit of phantoms and prepare to meet with their nemesis, Freddy Van Sweeten, on Park Bridge.
It's a long walk out across this bridge. There are families playing. There are people running for exercise. There are lovers strolling hand in hand, leaning against the railing of this bridge, looking out at the waves. And the wind is high enough that the waves are crashing against the pylons that sit on these floats that were designed for cars and now used for people to hold up a park. Aubrey walks out to the middle of this bridge. What time was she aiming to arrive?
I think right on time. If he wants to set up a big show, he can have that.
As you reach the middle of the bridge, there is a bit of a show that's been set up for you. 100 meters or so before you reach Freddy, there are a quartet of goons who are standing, trying their best to look casual, each one leaning back, their backsides pressed against the railing, looking in towards the middle of the bridge. All four of their heads lock on to Aubrey as soon as she comes into view, sort of scanning her up and down, their eyes wary of any weapons, of any trickery. And as you look beyond, you see another quartet of goons on the far side.
I look at the ones as I pass and sort of do a double take and sort of look puzzled at them for a moment and say, "Do you need me to take a photo of you?" Oh, never mind. Sorry.
At 12 noon on the dot, Tavo's going to take out the coin, hold it to his head so he can listen. If it's in her pocket, all he'll be able to do is listen, and if she gets like roughed up, she'll be able to feel the jolts.
Yeah.
But that's what's going to happen from 12 until 12:05 at the very least.
You hear, basically, as soon as you put it to your head, "Do you need me to take a picture of you?" Aubrey continues on towards the center. The last 100 meters being tall grass, a sort of mixture of wild grasses that go if you just have a lawn in the Northwest and you never mow it. It's just sort of a mixture of plants. There is a chair that has been brought out, and Freddy is sitting in it.
This guy.
It is a heavy wooden chair with a tall ladder back, what look like thick cushions that he's sitting on. And Camilla, the player, but not Aubrey, sees hovering above his head the words "dire peril."
Okay.
Oh, no. Sorry.
It's okay.
I don't want to read it. Okay.
Yeah, that's not the "you will die" sign. That's the if you around you'll find out sign.
Yeah,
you can
okay.
cut this all out, but
Yeah. Okay.
Adjust the cuffs of my early spring coat, scrunching them up in what seems like a sort of self-effacing self-consciousness up to my elbows, revealing the garlic flowers I've drawn on them. And I sort of put my hands on my hips and survey him and say, "Mr. Van Sweeten, you look comfortable."
He, from his lounging position, raises his hand up, gesturing towards someone over by the railing, and a guitar player comes over and begins supplying a soundtrack to this meeting. The music sounds as sweet as the spring air smells.
And I'm sure the artist looks inspired but exhausted.
Oh.
Inspired now, yes. So glad you could make it.
That's right.
I was worried you might not get the message, or that you might be too afraid to come. You seem to enjoy operating in the shadows, but here you are, in the light of day. What a joy for us both.
I guess we're both surprising that way. Love a good spot of sun.
You received my letter, yes?
Otherwise, it would be a very strange coincidence me turning up here, wouldn't it? No, you did your research.
And so you are here prepared to make amends, yes?
Well, I was a little bit confused by that, I will admit. Because from what I know about you, and, your reputation precedes you, much in the daylight, much in the shadows, and I would be the first to acknowledge that.
People are complicated.
They are. What I know about you, beyond things I may know that remain unsaid, is that you're a savvy businessman.
He nods at you.
And you recognize the value of a good deal and a good contract and employees who do their jobs.
He sits up a little bit straighter and sort of leans forward. You've caught his attention.
You keep talking about amends as if I've wronged you terribly. As if I set out to personally injure you.
Are you implying that you injured me on accident?
No, I'm implying that I'm good at my job. And that maybe I was just doing a job for someone else.
So who was it who hired you?
It's very covert. Through many layers, and I'm afraid I don't have names. But if I've demonstrated anything about myself, it's that maybe I'm not useful as an enemy to you.
But you would be useful as an ally.
Well, I don't know. That's for you to decide.
I've decided. You would be useful as an ally.
Oh. Should I be grateful or more frightened?
I think flattered, at least.
Okay, I'll take that. I have to warn you I'm very bad at art, but I'm also, to my credit, remarkably unremarkable. Overlookable, one would say.
Let's be clear here. I don't want you as food.
Congratulations to me.
I don't think you taste very good. Uninspired as you are. No, I think you would fit in well in my organization. And
I'm strictly freelance.
things change. If you want me to treat your vassal as a member of my organization, as someone who is too valuable to be food, well, if he reports to you and you report to me, then there's a clear line there that I would never cross.
I'm interested in a with, not a for, if you catch my drift. Now,
I think you're not hearing me.
I think you've made contracts with people who've proven themselves unworthy, and maybe you should look higher. And maybe because I'm standing, and only because I'm standing, I'm a little bit higher.
Couldn't give me some kind of social check. I feel like this is... What I'm reading here is that Aubrey is trying to bait him into playing her game instead of playing his own game.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to bait him into giving me contract work around the verdant cycle so that I can learn more about it. And he thinks that he's hiring me to do a job that this college lady goofed on. Can I do coercion?
Absolutely. Coercion is going to go against his discipline. It's going to be 1 purple, 2 red.
I'm gonna just cash in all my chips and stuff.
There's 2 story points sitting on y'all side of the table as well.
Oh, I just moved 1 over. Can I do more than 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that okay if I move over 2?
Yeah.
Sorry, 2 red?
1 purple, 2 red.
1 purple.
Yep. Tell us the total here, Camilla.
Okay. I'm an okay bully. But it's gonna be... But it's... these dice are swingy. It's gonna be 4 yellow, 1 green, versus 2 red and 1 purple. Yeah, I think my goal is for him to see me as useful, but most useful with some degree of independence. So I'm trying to show that I am a business asset, but not like a goon.
Great.
Nope. My dice failed me.
Not a single success came up.
No, not a single success.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's just 1 failure.
Just 1 failure.
I spent a lot of upgrades on it.
Yeah. These swingy dice.
Jeez.
Like I said. Do I have anything else I can do? I think just for leadership checks. And for Fae stuff, which this isn't.
It is not.
Yeah, that was all 5 dice. Yeah, that's it.
There's only room at the top of my org chart for 1 person, okay? And that's Freddy. So if you want to be part of Freddy's organization, if you want to make sure that Freddy is taking care of your vassal, then you work for Freddy.
Let me think if there's a way out of this.
Otherwise, you return the shroud and you make sure that there's a plausible story of why it disappeared that throws no shade whatsoever onto my organization and throws a sequoia's worth of shade onto the Verteres. Those are your 2 options.
Aubrey in her head is surprised that he was mad about the shroud because that was the thing that she was not even trying to steal. And she wasn't part of the theft of that even.
Right.
So he's like, oh, you work for me forever, or you do this other unrelated errand
So I think from that, Aubrey would sort of perhaps recontextualize what he was upset about.
Yes.
What's the new conclusion that she reaches?
I think that he doesn't know about all the other stuff we stole, maybe? Is that possible? Or that the Shroud of Turin is very special and magical in some way. But also that I stole like 4 other things from him, and he's just not even mad about those?
So as you've been interacting with him, he sort of treats food very dismissively, right? He's never worried about going hungry.
Yeah.
Because food just comes to him, right? Ships just dash themselves on his rocks. But what he wrote about in the letter that he was upset about is that you caused him to lose face.
Yeah.
Right? He was hosting this auction, and one of the items that was under his protection was bid on and then disappeared. And so to fix that, you have to make that somebody else's fault, otherwise work for him. Or come up with something of sort of comparable value.
No, that seems easier and less morally compromising than working for, sorry to Mara and Mara's mother.
Hey, you know what? She will
but that feels like
him down with the fury of 1,000 suns. So, or waves.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna try to play it cool and say, oh, you just want the shroud back? All right, I'll make it happen.
Give me a vigilance check. This is going to go against 4 purple.
Okay, now my dice are coming through for me.
Let's go.
Probably to reveal that I said something bad and wrong. Oh, it's 2 successes and 1 threat.
You get the impression...
Oh, wait, no threats. Sorry. Threats cancel out. 1 success. So sorry.
All good. You get the impression that he just said, you can either join my organization or leap over the Grand Canyon. And you said, oh, no problem. I'll leap over that canyon.
I love to bluff.
And for a second, his facade of unbreakable, unwavering, cool, and self-assurance cracks just a little bit, as if he's not quite sure who he's dealing with when he thought he was.
Are we done doing business then?
When will I have the shroud?
It sounds like you have a date in mind. But if you want it done well, then I think you should give me the time that I need.
And that is?
Is there... I'm entirely bluffing.
Sure.
I think I'm going to say, time passes differently depending where you are. So why don't you give me the time that would be most useful for you, because I know that there's sort of a diminishing return after a certain point, and I'll make the time I need within that.
If the shroud is not in my hands by the summer solstice, then you will owe me a favor of comparable size. Agreed?
And Van?
He comes and goes as he pleases. Would you like to make some other arrangement for him?
Sorry, above the table to clarify. Yeah. I thought that I was negotiating for the safety of a hostage, but he's saying, "Oh, if you do this, then I won't murder you, or I won't punish you."
He's implying Van remains his hostage until he has the shroud.
Yeah.
Unless there's something else you can
No, that sounds
do
fine.
to sort of vouchsafe.
I love debt, so you're in luck.
Then we have an agreement, and he stands up and extends his hand to shake.
I give him my hand. I don't use Fey magic to sanctify it, though. I'm sure he has his own version.
He waves his hand in a circle above his head, and his goons come to collect his chair, and he walks off the bridge to the south, towards the south.
How far do you have to carry that before you load it into something?
I don't have to carry it at all.
No, I'm asking them.
They don't answer you. They answer to me.
Can you ask them how long they have to carry it for? I'm really curious. Nope, all right.
Helix is confused. What?
They're like carrying a chair for miles across a bridge?
Most of a mile, yeah.
Yeah, that's so silly. Do they load it into a truck? Are they going to carry it back to the house?
There's a parking lot.
He lives so far away. And I'm sure that he has like a fun, nice little car that he drives around in. So did they also come in a truck that fits a big chair in it? I want to know how they're getting the chair back.
He looks at Aubrey again with this just, who is this person? Look on his face.
I give him a shrug as if, wow, the world is full of mysteries, such as where the chair goes. And I turn and leave.
Everyone has gathered back together as previously discussed at the coffee shop where Tavo was waiting, right near the campus of the pond.
Let's debrief on the bridge.
Yeah, Aubrey very cautiously walks in to the coffee shop. She has a way about her where she can either like totally disappear into a place and be entirely overlookable, or be just so uncomfortable in her own skin that it really stands out. And I think she's in the latter mode right now. She looks like she doesn't know what you do in a coffee shop, how to be a normal person in a coffee shop. She's like shaking a little bit and just has a really intense look on her face that is entirely at odds with the chill vibes of the spot.
Luckily, Mara had grabbed her a very seeded scone, like a seeded kind of pumpkin scone, and just kind of like hands it to her and gives her a little hug.
Here, sit down.
The sort of vibe of the place hasn't been redecorated since the late 70s. Everything is dark. All the carpet is thick and shaggy. The plants are just dense on the shelves, and everywhere there's not a plant, there's a tchotchke of some sort. It seems that the owner of this place has traveled the world and brought lots of weird little knickknacks back.
A proper kind of college town eccentric spot.
Mm-hmm. And the coffee is acceptable.
I just start kind of nibbling at the scone absent-mindedly, picking it apart with my fingers.
How do you take your coffee?
Any.
I'll get you something.
Aubrey, did you really ask them? You asked them about the chair? You asked them about like the physics and the logistics of the chair?
It seemed so out of place and odd. He put so much thought into everything.
Yeah.
And what everything means.
Yeah. Okay.
And
did you?
I think I just wanted to say the last thing before he left.
Yeah. Did your inquisitiveness lead you to any other queries, or just the one about the chair?
Well, I think I learned a lot, but I also think I did so by, I think most of what I learned is that I did something really stupid. And then I learned that after I did it.
Tavo comes back with your coffee. Here, this is about the best it gets.
Thank you. Just hold the coffee to warm my hands. I think I entirely misread what he wanted. I thought that he was mad because we had taken his artists from him. Mm-hmm. I thought maybe he was mad because we'd taken the papers or the verdant cycle. He's just mad about the Shroud of Turin. And he's really mad.
In his defense, I understand why he's mad about it. Isn't it, pretty valuable, pretty insane, pretty irreplaceable, pretty, cornerstone of our world as we know it? Okay.
Yeah, I just wasn't there when it got taken, and right. I wasn't... was I part of the selling of it? That was sort of a hint. I thought we'd hand it
That sort of
off.
went through Greystone.
Greystone, yeah. I wasn't there when it was taken. I wasn't there when it was handed off. I had just really not thought about it at all. Mm-hmm. And that's on me because apparently it's very important and I need it or my friend might die.
I'm not as familiar with the Shroud of Turin. Tavo, you seem to have known a little bit about it.
Yeah, your eyebrows are popping off your forehead.
Sorry. To be honest, my professor was trying to get hold of it.
Really?
The door to the coffee shop swings open.
Oh my God.
And in walks Professor DeNova. Tavo immediately recognizes, and Mara and Aubrey immediately recognize this as the woman from whom the papers about Train 19 were stolen at Freddy's party.
Oh, no.
Hi, Professor.
Aubrey fully retreats into the space in between the couch cushions on this extremely old couch. Just like disappears into the couch.
Mara's fully bluffing and just greets her with a bright smile.
Professor DeNova walks over. She is a woman of medium height. She has darker hair that is sort of pulled and tucked back, sort of folded up into itself on the back of her head. She looks very neat and businesslike. She's wearing a nice cardigan and fairly flowy skirts. She just looks really put together, which is her general vibe most of the time. Tavo. And she looks over. If Aubrey is really trying to hide, you're welcome to roll some sort of hiding check.
I think that she is half-heartedly trying, but I don't think there's any world in which she would succeed in this moment.
She looks over at the two of you, seems to sort of scan her memory for where she's seen you before, and then turns back to Tavo and says, "Please introduce me to your friends."
Sure. This is Mara Vertere and Aubrey Stump. They've actually been helping me with the Tim's Island situation.
Oh, well, it's lovely to put a face to a name. And she'll reach out her hand to shake for Mara and then to Aubrey.
I just reach out an arm from in between the couch cushions.
You as well, Professor. We've been hearing a lot about your work, and it's really quite marvelous.
Oh, is that so? What have you told them?
Well, they came out with me to the island, and we checked out the will-o-wisp situation. And Professor, you're not going to believe this. I get out my notebook. I say, that lighthouse contains a full-bodied, viviform, physics-enabled, solid-phase, visually complete apparition named Jonathan.
Full-bodied?
Oh, yeah. Down to the feet.
And it can manipulate solid objects?
And not only that, this apparition has been capturing, or if you prefer, housing our will-o-wisps inside glass lanterns.
Well, that explains why they are staying there once they arrive, but how are they getting there?
Well, we get the feeling that a lot of them may have been victims of shipwrecks.
On the island itself?
We assume so, but maybe also possibly from nearby. It's not entirely clear how many of them were shipwrecked on the island itself. But this is the thing. They have no memory of the situation. They don't remember being shipwrecked, and they, as we surmise, don't remember me from visit to visit.
And these two are experts in ghosts?
They're detectives?
Experts in things may be adjacent.
Professor Nova, I think I have to... in the interest of full disclosure, she would have immediately noticed when I reached out my hand to shake hers that I had drawn all these protective sigils on it, because I did come straight from the meeting that I had those. So there's a bunch of like garlic flowers and like allium puffs going up my arms.
Dinova, she corrects you. You're experts in ghosts?
No. Oh, well... We're
Renaissance investigators of the strange.
Yes. As I was saying.
Renaissance experts in the strange.
We didn't say experts in anything.
No, but things adjacent to ghosts.
But we know a little bit about a lot of things.
We're familiar with.
And we're great at stumbling into things.
And knowing what we know about them, but maybe not more, and learning more as we go.
We're adaptable.
We can know a bit about a few things.
We can. Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can. A little bit about a few things.
It takes a lot to know a bit about a few things. It takes a lot to know a bit. It takes a lot to know a bit about a few things. It takes a lot to know a bit. I don't know much about movies.
No.
I don't know much about what's cool.
No, she doesn't.
But I know about mushroom growth patterns in the late fall.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does.
I don't know much about social graces. I don't know much about stuff.
You try your best.
Don't know much about paying rent, but I know a little about it all. It takes a lot to know a bit about a few things. It takes a lot to know a bit. It takes a lot to know a bit about a few things. It takes a lot to know a bit.
I don't know a lot about getting my hands real dirty.
She doesn't.
But I can turn a situation into something fun and flirty.
She can.
I don't know a lot about working a 9 to 5.
Nope.
But I can teach you this cool new dance. It's called dance.
lot to know a bit about a few things. It takes a lot to know a bit.
Sometimes you know a little about a lot. Sometimes you know a lot about a little.
And sometimes you're just in the middle.
Did you know a child's imaginary friend is real for her and no one else? Did you know? Did you know?
I didn't know.
There's a placebo effect on reality. It takes collective belief of a community. Did you know? Did you know?
It takes a lot to know a bit about a few things. It takes a lot to know a bit. It takes a lot to know a bit about a few things. It takes a lot to know a bit. And did you know that if there's a catch you've got to impress, then you just gotta master strategies of willow chess. Let me explain it for you, actually. Don't cut me off, okay? I'm gonna start explaining it. Don't cut me off with the chorus, okay?
Hey
So
guys,
how
we're
it works-
closing down in
how
like
it
5
works-
minutes if you want
No,
like any
so,
last
okay,
coffee orders.
So you
Now's
have
the
to go
time.
to the side of the river.
Now's the time.
And then- It takes a lot to know a bit about a few things. It takes a lot to know a bit. It takes a lot to know a bit about a few things. It takes a lot to know a bit. It takes a lot to know a bit about a few things. It takes a lot to know a bit. It takes a lot to know a bit about a few things. It takes a lot to know a bit.
I see. So these generalists, wow, that's a hard word. So these Renaissance people have been helping you out?
That's right. Yeah. I just sort of stumbled into their office and found out that we had some interests in common, and they came along with me.
We fought a plant.
We fought a plant.
And won.
Tavo, when will you learn that rigor will always be more helpful than stumbling in the dark?
I like stumbling in the dark. That's how you find things.
No, you find things by careful application of curiosity again and again and again.
I was being chased by a giant plant. There was no rigor involved. I'm sorry,
Somehow
Professor.
these things
I just-
always find you.
Look,
Isn't that good for research? Finding interesting things? If they always find him, doesn't that mean he's a great student? I don't know. I didn't graduate college.
A great student finishes one task. Tavo. Always finding something new to chase.
Great student, but perhaps not a great thinker.
Well,
I apologize for stepping out of bounds. You just seem a little bit familiar, and maybe I feel like we could have a bit more of a conversation. But since we're just meeting, I apologize for the lack of formality.
she's right. I really should be concentrating more. I'm sorry, Professor. But what about this apparition?
typically, apparitions have some sort of unfinished business. I assume you have had conversations with
Well,
this Jonathan?
he's been the lighthouse keeper for a lot longer than anyone should have to be a lighthouse keeper.
He doesn't think he's dead.
He doesn't know.
So he is bound to his surroundings.
That's right.
Did he die there?
We think so because Mara and I saw him there when he was presumably alive.
Yeah, when we were kids.
Because he's aged since then and is wearing something different.
What else has changed?
Well, the plants over there sure grow pretty quickly.
The signs are really worn out. There's the lanterns.
They weren't there before. Yeah.
I feel like they don't take kids there for field trips anymore, which seems like a loss because I really liked going there.
Oh, was he wearing galoshes before? Pink galoshes?
I feel like I would have remembered.
What you remember him seeing was like in some old galoshes, but so those ones look brighter and newer.
Different galoshes, but
There, you got it. Galoshes.
they were very bright pink.
I guess
You-
that's
you are
probably
saying
not
the-
significant, huh?
The plants are behaving as wild.
Yeah.
Yes, more than wild even. I mean, we were inside for what felt like maybe half an hour at most, and our boat had been completely overgrown.
Yeah, and that again
That's
is
normal?
it's normal for wild plants.
Oh, that's right, wild places.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, they were behaving wildly.
If you know the manner of his death and his unfinished business, if you wish to help him move on, you likely can. But I sent you out there to learn about the will-o-wisps.
I don't think we fully understand why they can't remember things, but I suppose the shipwrecks would explain the increased number.
But there have not been so many shipwrecks on that island.
Yeah, they might be. It might not just be shipwrecks. It might be a pattern related to that, but not exactly the same.
It could be that something there is attracting them.
Yeah, from further away. Like how this lovely establishment attracts folks from all over.
Yeah, this lovely establishment is closing in just a couple minutes. So
Okay.
if you want to put your drinks into to-go mugs, you can sit out on the patio. I gotta close up.
Sure.
All right, sure. We'll gather up. Sorry.
You like smash cut to the patio.
Yeah. So I just want to honor that a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, a lighthouse is good for attracting as well as warning. I mean, especially if somehow this apparition is projecting a protective aura. Maybe somehow the will-o-wisps realize that he can take care of them.
I was really sure that the lighthouse itself was a giant will-o-wisp, and I have no reason to believe that anymore, but I feel like I should say it just in case it makes you think of something.
Giant will-o-wisp.
Maybe it looks familiar, or, I don't know, it's just a light bulb.
My research is more into the fabric of reality and less into apparitions. That is what I'm hoping that Tavo will increase our knowledge of. But this matches nothing that I am familiar with.
Can I actually ask about your research? Is it
Of course.
entirely theoretical, or do you apply it? Do you consult? Like what? How does your lab actually work?
My research focuses on the link between belief and reality.
Like a placebo?
Yes, a placebo. If enough people believe something, then it becomes true. The collective faith of thousands or billions makes things true. Tell a story enough times, you believe it. Tell someone else a story enough times, they believe it. Spread a story wide enough, the story is true.
This checks out. Just out of habit and precaution, would you say that you use your powers for evil or for good?
Powers?
Yeah, just your research and your knowledge about magic and things like that. We've met a few professors who use their powers for evil, so you gotta check.
I try to advance the knowledge of humanity. Tavo?
Well, I would think that everything that we're doing is for the good of humanity. I don't think my professor's evil. I mean, sometimes when she gives me a lot of papers to grade, I have to question, but that would be the only time.
So you have met professors that use powers for evil?
Or for harm that's a bit misguided?
She kind of squints at you, trying to decide whether or not to take you seriously about this.
Oh, he was in the math department.
At the pond?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Had a lot of squabbles with Bracco Industries. Hopefully that's not too much to reveal. Playing with fire is always fun.
She doesn't connect who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's a big school, right?
Yeah.
You know, 50,000 students, probably close to 10,000 faculty and staff.
Mara would probably clock that Aubrey's so close to asking about the party and what her whole deal is. Because she's the one who had the contract that we stole.
How do we, is that a good idea? Maybe.
She's appeared very unguarded with you so far.
Yeah. I'm mainly asking because I was reached out to by Freddy Van Sweeten about contracting for him, and your name came up as a reference, and he seems frightening and evil to me. And so I was wondering if you had a different perspective on him that would clarify.
He mentioned my name.
Not by name, but I'm putting pieces together, and I think he was talking about you, right?
Freddy had something that I'm very interested in. You see, if a billion people telling a story can alter reality, then perhaps this shroud is an object of power. Something that I can research, something that I can learn from, something that will help refine my ideas into something that is clearer, that will help all mankind to understand the nature of the world that we live in. And so, yes, I agreed to do some research for him in exchange for him work at the university. I could not afford millions of dollars for an auction, but he agreed to fund that so that I could conduct my research. Unfortunately, I lost all of the documentation on what he was hoping for me to research, so I cannot complete the job.
He was hoping for it.
Out of character, the documentation we stole was about
2019.
It wasn't about the Shroud of Turin from anything we read, right?
Out of character? Sorry.
Yeah, out of character.
Correct. The documentation that you stole was all about the Train 19.
Do we think she's lying then?
Give me a vigilance check. This is going to go against 2.
Not a success, but 5 advantages. It's the classic way of the dice.
Yeah. So you don't get a clear read on her. You don't get the sense that she is lying to you, but you also get the sense that you could if she wanted to, and you wouldn't necessarily be able to clock it.
Yeah, she's like very cool and professional in a way that, with the advantages, would I be able to get a read on how she regards Freddy? Does she like him? Does she trust him? Or is this something that she sees as a arrangement of convenience?
She became a bit guarded when you mentioned him, and it could have been that was, someone from the outside is asking about slightly weird things. But since you all already indicated that you were on the inside, it's probably more expressive of her opinion of Freddy as necessary evil. But also if you want to try and get more information out of her in a song battle.
We could sing about how you put ghosts to rest.
Science for evil, science for good.
Ooh.
Science for evil, science for good, yeah.
That's good.
Finding out what you know can be a complicated thing. Sometimes what you find out is good. Sometimes you regret everything. Think about Oppenheimer. Think about Charles Darwin or Einstein. Sometimes knowledge is just knowledge. Sometimes it's destruction. Science for evil, science for good. Science for evil, science for good.
You walk down any path far enough, you'll walk off the edge of the world. But how far would you go to answer the questions for a little girl? And if that little girl was you, how much farther would you go? Is there anything you'd stop at? Any question you choose not to know? Science for evil,
Science for evil,
science for good,
science for good,
science for evil, science for good, science for evil, science for good, science for evil, science for good. What use is a framework that sorts things into category 1 or 2? I ask you this question.
science for good.
Which category are you? Signs for evil.
Signs for evil. Signs for good.
Signs for evil. Signs for good. Signs for evil. Signs for good. Signs for evil. Signs for
good. Finding out what you know can be just that. Finding out what the nature of reality is. If you find out that we're all doomed, do you tell everyone or just let us go on dreaming? Science for evil, science for good, science for evil, science for good, science for evil, science for good, science for evil, science for good.
Science misunderstood.
Camilla just gave Drew a guitar pick.
I gave Drew a guitar pick.
Guitar pick.
Now I just need a guitar.
Now Drew the player can shred. Or upgrade a die in the future.
I have a whole bunch of readings that I took while I was there, and I've been transcribing them, so I'll bring them to your office when they're done. And I guess we have to go back.
But thank you for speaking with us. And I think you're a nudge in the direction to find out how or when, why this lighthouse keeper died and the unfinished business that he may have. We could definitely look into that and, of course, respect the privacy of your all's work and are just along for whatever is respectful for you both.
For one, I am pleased that someone is curious about it because we are funded by public money and taxpayer dollars, and we do our best to publish, but so few are interested to read.
It's not the most credible field to be in.
There's really only one journal.
Pretty much. But
Does it have a fun name?
Oh, I've been thinking about this. And maybe we can workshop it a little bit, but it's
I'm
like,
so glad I asked.
It's like at this point buried in sorry, 1 second.
Wait, I can't
let me
believe that there
search
was
up
so
my-
much lore that already went into this.
Let me search in my conversation with
What's
we've
the
been
name of the magic journal? Gotta find the name. Is it really long and whimsical?
No,
or
it's
is it
like-
kind of plain? We gotta learn the name of the magic journal. Helix looks on his phone. Better live hype up to the hype. We're gonna leave his home.
Leave his home.
What's it called? What's it called?
Maybe I was talking to him on Discord because it's not. You know what?
Okay,
So here's the thing.
journal has no name.
it's
The
just
magic
a blank
journal's
map
name
at
is
the top.
static. That echoes around your brain.
They just leave a 2-inch margin at the top of the first page.
So I want it to be something similar to, I want it to feel like it's aiming at the same level of like gravitas as like nature or medicine, since it's the first journal in its field.
Phenomena.
Phenomena's good.
Yeah.
Like I want it to, actually phenomena.
Bum, bum, bum.
That's the rule. Everyone has to do it. That's what makes it so cool.
Phenomena. The journal is Phenomena.
Thank you for racking your memory bank to remember the name and tell me. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure I'll do a lot with this knowledge.
If you wish to find my writings there, they are published under Vox.
Okay.
Is that a pseudonym?
Yes? It is unfortunately not taken seriously enough for us to publish under our given names. If my true research were published under DeNova, well, I have tenure, but I do not think I would get any more funding.
We can appreciate that. I feel like a good next step would be go to the library train, try and find records of Jonathan and how he died. If that's how we do it.
If he doesn't remember it, especially.
Because he didn't think he was dead.
Yeah, we could have talked to him before,
True.
but it seemed like that would shatter the balance in some way. And so the more that we could prepare for that, the better, perhaps.
Right. And if she's talking about...
But also, it's possible that people don't know how he died.
Exactly.
If not even he knows.
The city literally hasn't sent anybody else out there to...
so there wouldn't be record of it, would there?
You go to the library train, you look for records on his death. There is nothing there.
Okay.
Yeah, we can just
establish.
Yep. I want to play the song. You go to the library train.
Phenomena.
You look for records of his death.
I love a musical theme.
There are none.
A stinger.
Yeah.
Maybe I just worked that in there just to hear the musical theme. You'll never know.
Sure.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, whoa, so we'll have to ask him.
I just want to keep the library train rolling. I mean,
Yeah.
narrative
Chugging.
train. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what bothers me about this situation is we don't know if Jonathan's actually doing good for these lost souls or not.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, have we said goodbye to her?
If you went to the library, yeah.
Oh.
But if you have more that you want to say to her,
I
you
don't
just
think
swap-a-dee-doo.
so. We know how to get into contact
I think
with her
just if you feel like your, dealings with your sponsors or pushing your science to evil, please let me know. I understand that, sometimes you have to make deals in order to do good in the world, but also those deals can be twisted by others. So just that I sympathize, and please don't destroy everything. Thank you.
I do not think this dualistic thinking of yours is helpful. Is a jaguar on a hunt evil? Perhaps from the perspective of its prey, but I do not think that the lens at which you look at the world is borne out by reality.
No, but maybe the lens that she's looking at Freddy isn't all that incorrect. And for what it's worth, we see the importance and the value of your work, and we are honored to have at least gotten a glimpse of it.
She'll just kind of nod at that. Very diplomatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, all right.
But yeah, she recognizes BS when it's being slung.
So do I girly
Lauren
pop?
is sticking out her tongue and making a
peace sign.
cute, adorable peace sign at me.
I love me some BS.
Yeah. For what it's worth, Aubrey leaves this conversation convinced that Professor DeNova, whether she intends it or not, is playing into some sort of evil plan. Freddy's public enemy number one.
He's not a jaguar. He's a vampire.
Yeah.
Those are evil.
When the jaguar drinks blood, is it evil?
Yes. Short answer, yes.
When a jaguar takes many more creatures than he needs and simply slowly drains them of their life force, though he does not need to actually eat that much, simply because he wants to see them suffer and take credit for their creative force, which he does not have for himself. Is that so evil?
When a jaguar makes 4 people carry a chair just so he can sit on a bridge and talk to somebody, isn't that evil?
When he blackmails the wrong person for something that she didn't even do and says he'll kill her friend.
And when the lion has a truce with the jaguar, so the little lion cubs are immune.
When the jaguar goes out of his way to send a little tree, the symbol of which means I hate men and I wait. Is that so evil to hate men? To hate all men?
No.
To hate all mankind and wait for them to die?
Jaguar kind.
So, anyone
I want to do a Jaguar song.
Should we
do a Jaguar song, sure.
It's
Those
just
enough bits.
It's just the bit's been going on long enough. Maybe we've done the whole song in bit form. I don't know.
bet you can find a couple more.
There's like a car that's a jaguar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Jaguar song.
That's what it's called. I'm on the hunt for more than lunch. Yeah. I'm a Jaguar, and I'm kind of misunderstood. When I look in the mirror, I don't see myself the way other people would. If I'm on the hunt for a small little zebra guy, it's not my fault that he's delicious and that he dies. If my teeth are the one that ends up in his neck, well, please don't cancel me yet. I'm just a Jaguar dude trying to provide for my family of me.
Jaguar.
Just a Jaguar.
I'm just a Jaguar.
Just a Jaguar.
Just a Jaguar. Just a Jaguar.
I'm just a Jaguar, not responsible for the departed, long forgotten souls of those poor tormented artists. I may have bit their necks and drained their blood run dry.
Wait, what?
But you didn't see. I was a few feet away when I made them cry. I'm just a Jaguar.
Just a Jaguar.
I'm just a Jaguar. Just a Jaguar. I'm just a Jaguar.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think that any of you could really relate to the kind of problems that I have on a daily basis.
Well,
I get so hungry around 9 a.m.
whoa.
and 10 a.m. and 11 a.m., 12 a.m. Then I take a nap for about an hour and a half and I wake up and I'm hungry again. Can any of you relate? I don't think so.
Just a Jaguar.
Just a Jaguar. Just a Jaguar. Just a Jaguar. Just a Jaguar.
That one's going straight to streaming.
Pointed,
I love her.
pointed
I
satire.
like needs no context.
My verse might need a little context.
Maybe I don't know.
Your
That's like
two,
the
your
equivalent
two
of,
made
like, straight
sense.
to DVD, like just the Jaguar, so like straight to Spotify.
Just a wait. This is like Aladdin 2.
Yeah,
Hunchback of Notre Dame too?
yeah.
The
Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch where there's a girl Stitch.
Oh no! Don't throw disrespect on my girl. Like the pink one.
I've never seen it, so I don't know.
She rocks.
I'm just assuming it was straight
Stitch
to
with the
DVD.
glitch, the sequel. That
Oh,
one
is that
went
what that is?
crazy. No. She was in a different one. Anyway,
Well,
So are we
you'll have
making
to
our way
fill me in
back to
later.
are we back on the boat heading back to the island at this point? Or is
I
there
think
other stuff we
jump
need
cut
to do?
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
So the sun's setting.
We're all humming. Just a Jaguar.
Just a Jaguar.
Yeah, the sun setting, the speedboat, the teak-decked speedboat that Mara has skimming across the surface of the water, sending cascades of spray out behind it as you head north through the sound up towards Tim's Island. Pulling up once again to the dock, you find it completely overgrown with vines, requiring the machete that you brought along with
Oh,
you
yeah.
to cut a path to even step up onto the dock.
And Tavo, just to make sure I understand this right with the shroud, its
Yeah.
power comes from the fact that so many people believe in it. So if the nature of it is changed, then that would affect the nature of belief? Or is it magical on its own? Do you know? Does the professor even know?
I mean, I don't think we'll really know until we analyze it. It could be one of two things. It could be the actual shroud that the actual historical Jesus Christ was buried in. So it could have absorbed an enormous amount of psychic energy, even from just an ordinary individual. Or it could be a complete hoax that millions of people believe in, and therefore it's imbued with their psychic energy. But either way, the legend around it is so strong that it's got to be powerful in some way or another.
I am overdue for an extremely awkward conversation with a mysterious and dashing detective.
Okay.
He's a cool dude. You guys would get along.
Do you know something about the shroud? You
What?
keep bringing it up.
Oh yeah, I thought you caught when we were talking a lot at the same time before. Yeah.
We may... Ooh.
I thought you already knew. But now it's bad, because I had assumed.
We had we're acquainted with the shroud.
We might have a lead on where it has gone.
Oh, wow.
And I need to get it back, or else, and it sounds like your professor cares quite a lot about that too.
Well, to be honest, if she weren't studying that, she'd be studying something else. So even though I'd love to get it for her, this kind of thing is never going to end. So I guess it depends on what it takes to get it back.
Well, whatever it takes, I have to do it. So hopefully not too much.
Mars been hacking it at the weeds with the machete during this whole thing, like out of the nervous energy, and has done a surprisingly good job. And now there's a path.
Tavo has a little knife that looks like it's supposed to be mystical that he's also using to cut through these things.
Oh, I have a giant axe. 1 second. Wait, let me actually help with this.
Sweat, and when Aubrey was like, what?
I'm so sorry.
I don't know if either of you would know the name of it, but I can say it if it makes sense.
Oh?
Well, it's an athame, so it's used in like magic rituals.
Yeah. That means something to me anyway.
Okay, yeah.
Cool.
But why don't you say more for our listeners?
Oh, well, that's all I really know
And
is that it's like a dagger that's used in Wiccan rituals. And so he has one. That's not really how it's supposed to be used, to like carve vines away from a boat, but you know what? Any tool you've got is a good tool.
Yeah.
Also, big axe. Aubrey has a
it's a normal
handheld
size.
hatchet.
It's a little hatchet. It's a hatchet, but it can probably help in this context. No, it's 7 feet tall. It's a sithe. It crits on a single success. No.
Whoa.
It's a Vorpal scythe.
Yeah, it can behead anything if I believe hard enough.
So you made it to the island. So you were traveling as the sun was setting. Mm-hmm. You're at the island at twilight, and you're sort of looking around. There's no will-o-wisps in evidence, as there's still a bit of ambient light in the sky. And as you're clearing the dock, the light in the lighthouse turns on and begins to revolve.
I kind of want to just go in to find Jonathan. I'll knock at the door.
If we're about to have a tough conversation with him, do you feel okay taking lead?
I was going to do one of those things where, you know, when your friend can't decide where they want to eat dinner, and you're like, what color is the sky? What's your favorite song? What's your mom's name? What color am I wearing? Where do you want to eat food? And they just blurt something out. I'm just like, how'd you die? And then these guys tell me.
I trust you. Implicitly.
Sounds foolproof. I love it.
Sounds foolproof.
So you go over, you knock on the door, and once again, it's as if it wasn't latched. It just swings open on its own. You see, again, the light from outside kind of spilling into the space with the 2 paintings, with the bust of President Garfield, with a small sort of kitchenette area with a cot against the wall and a spiral staircase running up and around the outside wall leading up to the light chamber. Big colorful rugs taking up most of the center, turning it from like concrete padding or concrete floor to a cozy living space.
Yeah. I'll kind of walk in and call out, Jonathan?
And you hear calling down from the top, yeah, who's there?
Oh, hello. We were here yesterday. We were just coming back like you had offered. It's just so peaceful out here.
Well, hold your horses. And he kind of starts bumping down the stairs. Always nice to have a visitor. What did you say your names was?
Well, my name is Mara, and we have Aubrey and Tavo here as well.
Hello.
Hello,
Do you
sir.
remember us?
You said you was here yesterday. Well, my memory's not what it used to be.
Okay.
Interesting. Do you remember what you had for breakfast today?
I don't usually eat breakfast.
Or what color your shoes are?
Well, they're bright pink.
Or why you are a lighthouse keeper?
Well, I do this to take care of my community and make sure the people are safe as they go on their journeys.
And what's the island called?
It's Tim's.
And how'd you die?
Oh, well, I was keeping a great darkness at bay.
What?
What?
Sorry, that got me. That's so funny. What? That's so funny. That's the old man McGucket from Gravity Falls.
Yeah.
Yo, Oh man, I'm gonna get local kook. Like, that's him.
I don't know what to do with this.
Camilla gave you some
treasure it always.
All right.
But don't use it against us.
God, that was so funny. A great darkness?
Well, that's what? Like, what?
How did you die?
Well, you was here yesterday,
We were.
so I probably. Did I tell you? What did I tell you yesterday? Well,
You told us
sorry, my memory's not what it used to be.
Told us about your siblings, Elizabeth and Adam.
in the paintings
Yeah.
and how they were out. I talked with Elizabeth for a while actually. Her and I played a game.
How you take care of them with the lanterns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, someone's got to take care of them because, well, they're just lonely creatures.
Is there a place they could go to beyond, or are they sort of in between? Like, did they or you have unfinished business that's keeping you here and keeping you lonely?
Well, I got to take care of my siblings because, I mean, when you're the eldest, you got to take care of them.
Maybe they're the unfinished business then?
I actually know a way that might help you get around not remembering everything. It's called automatic writing, and usually it's done to try to get in touch with the spirit world, but I have a feeling that if I handed you a pencil and told you to empty your mind and just let your hand move on its own, you might be able to remember more than you think.
Sure, let's give it a shot.
Great.
I love this guy so much.
He's taken this so much better than I feared.
I get out my notebook and I get out a pencil and I hand it to Jonathan and say, okay, well, let's have a seat.
Okay.
And just hold this pencil, put it on the paper, and just look up. Look at the far wall. Just let your mind go blank. You don't have to think about much of anything. I'll just say some words to you, and maybe you can start writing. Just let your hand move. Don't even think about writing words, and we'll see what comes out. So we'll just take it in short question responses.
Yeah, all right.
Here we go. How long ago did the great darkness appear?
It's always been there before the lighthouse was here.
What were you doing the first time you faced it?
That memory is gone. It seems as my death has erased it.
Just let your hand go, and then we'll see what you know. When was the last time you saw Adam or Elizabeth alive?
1 week before their deaths, they were here for a dinner. Each of them had said they'd finished their paintings for my birthday. They were excited to unveil.
What happened when they showed you their paintings? Were you pleased?
They never reached me. The paintings and siblings were claimed by the sea.
Just let yourself go. We'll see what you know.
See what you know.
Just let your hand go.
What do you know?
When did you find your siblings in the sea?
As the storm waned, their bodies remained.
some other form.
It took some months before their orbs formed.
And the other orbs, where did they come from?
By one and by two, across the water they flew. Where each one died, I'll never know.
I'll never know.
Once they're here, it seems their memories go.
And the great darkness, let's get back to that now.
Yeah.
How did it kill you? Do you remember how?
I sealed the darkness below. As for how, I'm afraid I don't know. But there must be something keeping it bound. Some clue still around. I wasn't expecting that to do much.
You did great, Jonathan. Thanks for trying that.
Yeah, well, you seem like the kind sort and trying to help out my siblings, so, well, anything you could do to help them, I'd always appreciate.
Can you tell me something? Is there a room below the lighthouse?
Well, sure. Now that you mention it, I mean, this sort of shooks loose some memories here.
Is there a secret switch hidden in the bust of James Garfield?
How'd you know?
There was no other reason for it to be there.
Well, sure there is. He was a dedicated public servant. Swept...
How do you remember that, but not?
He swept corruption out of the postal service in his brief term as president.
You're right. I was wrong, and I apologize.
That was his great darkness. It was the corruption in the postal service.
Now, he was not a perfect man, but he was a dedicated public servant. And I think our country would be better off if he had served a longer term.
This is like the Quentin Tremblay from Gravity Falls. You know that part? Anyway.
Do you think
Helix, you gotta be honest with me. Was that always the plan, or are you just jumping on
I
the...
don't know. I don't want to know.
The bust, particularly? There was never a button in the bust before now.
Okay, great. Good.
I was just kind of hoping there.
It seemed like...
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
You like turn it, you'd like turn it north.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you gotta move the rugs first, though, because,
Oh,
well, it's under there.
okay. Well, we'll start moving the rugs.
I think we better be careful. Because it sounds like that's where the great darkness is.
Who wants to flip Garfield?
I'll flip Garfield.
Who would be an honor?
Aubrey bravely steps forward to flip Garfield.
He asked you to pull the rugs aside.
Yes. Is there anything under the rugs that we would notice? Any symbols or scratchings?
Yes. Set into the stone floor of the lighthouse, which is sort of a cobblestone, more or less. Like, this is an old enough structure. It was sort of built on a stone foundation rather than poured concrete, as I might have said before. Certain stones were pried out and replaced with geodes that have been cut so that the crystal faces are up and visible. These form a circle around a cut in the floor that you assume when you move the bust will move.
Do we recognize the crystals?
Yeah, Tavo, does this mean something?
Well, I should probably take a look at it from an occult point of view, shouldn't I?
Yeah?
I haven't been rolling much. Oops.
Yeah,
We've been singing.
you know.
We did the Jaguar song.
Yeah. So you got to throw some purple dice in there.
Oh, yeah,
throw 2 in.
Hey, that's great.
Oh, wow. Looks like a triumph.
That's a triumph and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Wow. This is a classic configuration of quartz crystals.
Who's speaking?
Sorry, the narrator.
No, I knew. Tavo
is a
summons a
classic.
helpful identify spell. The talking dictionary shows up.
It's Garfield.
Garfield.
President
Hello.
James Allen Garfield here for you.
This is a classic configuration for a binding. Quartz are used in binding because of their many facets. The light sort of bounces around and gets trapped inside of it in the same way metaphysically it can bind and trap other energies. This is particularly useful for sealing something below because as it comes up, it's reaching up through the cracks. It would interface with the facets of these geodes and find its energies drawn in deeper and deeper into sort of the nearly fractal nature of them.
Well, whatever this is, it's keeping something trapped under it. And so the problem is, if we open this, we risk releasing it. So unless it's something that we feel like we can do a better job of containing or destroying, this could be extremely risky.
Would opening the trapdoor, it looks like it won't disturb the circle. So worst case scenario, we get trapped forever with the great darkness, but it doesn't necessarily escape. Right?
I just want to interject. There was a triumph on that roll, so you all get to add something that is true or decide like some major benefit. Either something fantastic happens or you can establish something that is true and very helpful.
Well, I have 2 thoughts. Can we metagame a little bit and discuss?
Yeah.
One of them is that one of us, maybe it's me, maybe it's one of you, knows a way to banish an otherworldly demon or whatever this happens to be that we could try on this creature. The kind of more calm version of this might be, we know that this circle will not be disturbed just by opening the trapdoor, and we can observe it and speak with it and understand it without releasing it. Does anybody have any other ideas?
Those both sound good. I jumped to the second one, but the first one sounds very cool.
Yeah, I feel the same about both of those. So I don't know. The safe person in me wants to be like, we can just see what it is and maybe the triumph is that one of us recognizes or has some familiarity as soon as we encounter whatever this is.
Yeah, I mean, if you want the triumph to be about more knowledge, that's totally good. If you want it to be about being able to open it up, that's good too. Just decide which of those you want it to be.
I mean, the one is sort of a more powerful version of the other. It's like, if we can dispel it or like remove it and send it back to where it came from, that obviously solves the problem.
Everything.
If there is a problem. I don't know if that's an overreach.
Or if we're taking Jonathan's word for this, like what is down there?
True. We do have 2 story dice and a pick if we need to like throw some more into the kitty to get that. But it seems like we can't necessarily resolve it just by finding out what it is.
Yeah, but I think it'd be a pretty good thing to be able to like keep it where it is and be able to safely either go down with it and be guaranteed return or have it be kept down there. What do you think?
Okay.
I feel like as a player, any of these sound really fun. So
Drew, it's your triumph. Why don't you pick which one you want it to be?
If I could have anything, I would be able to I would be able to do both. I would be able to protect us, and I would be able to know, assuming it's something I recognize, how to exorcise it, basically.
So you know that a circle of this nature would not be needed for a chump.
Right. It's something big.
So
the great darkness.
To remove a great darkness will require some personal risk. So you can have one of those things. You can't do both and guarantee your safety.
I'm good with the personal risk. I just don't want the risk to be it gets out and everything is screwed.
Sure.
So if we taking some personal risk at the chance of possibly being able to get rid of it, that's fine by me.
All right.
Tavo the martyr. No.
So you are certain that opening this will not free it because the door is not the bars to its prison.
Okay.
The crystals are.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go down and talk to it.
Oh, great. I'll come.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, before we do that, at the very least, we can do our best to protect ourselves. I probably can't use the pencil to do this, but I do have a pen, and we're just going to draw little protective sigils on our backs of our necks.
Should I draw over the other ones, or should I smudge them and...
People are palimpsest. You can draw over the ones you have.
Okay.
Unless this thing is open to being persuaded to do certain things, maybe I should stay up here?
I mean, it might be persuadable.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll come down too. Why not? I'm curious. Let's go. Marley takes a deep, shaky breath.
It could be very risky. We could end up ghosts in a lighthouse. I just want you to understand that.
If Garfield can face his darkness, so can we.
What awaits our investigators as they delve into the darkness? Find out in the finale of Lighthouse Limbo next time on RPG Major. Tavo is special guest Drew Simchik, who improvises regularly at CSZ Seattle. Find him on Instagram at xana.drew. That's xana.dru, or at astrodna.bandcamp.com. Mara Vertere is Lauren Drake, who performs in scripted and improvised musicals around Seattle. Find her on socials at La Drake. Aubrey Stump is Camilla Franklin, who also creates the art for our show. Find her on Instagram at Camillastrator. All of the accompaniment for this arc was improvised live in the room by our incredible guitarist, Noah Samuels. Find him on Instagram at Samuels_Noah. And I'm Helix. Connect with me and the rest of the cast on our Discord or on Instagram at RPG Major. All right, we'll see you next time.
I got us into trouble.
Didn't have to break a pencil this time.
Because we...
How does Mara know to come up and like the all clear? What's the all clear?
I'm gonna have to go find her, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't figure that part out.
I was going to say, she'll give it a beat. She can't hear it. She's stuck down. She started playing like tic-tac-toe with herself in the sand down there. Like seeing the fish.
There's a little crab down there. It's like, X.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's playing with the crab. That's cute.
Yeah, we didn't work that part out, unfortunately.
That's all right. I think as soon as she's having fun, she's recharging.
I'm just too proud to work for him. That sounds terrible.
I absolutely did not expect you to work for him.
No.
Right?
I wanted to see if he would give me the university lady's contract to find whatever this hat is. Because she got the important papers stolen from her, and I think that makes her look bad. Mm-hmm. But, Shredder-turn's better than, like, working security for him or something. It seems more interesting at
Carrying
least.
a chair.
Carrying a chair.
That was so funny.
My goodness, I've been working on my Spanish accent, and it's so bad. I've got key phrases. I'm here to help. Now, can I do it in my terrible Spanish accent? Phenomena. Is a jaguar who hunts a deer? Like they live in there's a jaguar.
A zebra?
A mushroom.
Jaguar on a hunt.
A long-legged mushroom.